Welcome to JHart Modelworks. It's time for another update on the Tamiya Nissan Fairlady 240 ZG Buddy Build with Shawn from the Scale Model Car Guy channel. Welcome to my workbench. Let's get started. Hey guys, Justin here with JHart Modelworks, and it is time for another update on the Nissan 240 ZG. This is a buddy build with Shawn from the Scale Model Car Guy channel, so if you are not subscribed to Shawn, please go and check him out. We do have a good bit of progress, not nearly as much as I would like, but we'll talk about that a little later. So first I want to go ahead and just get the camera turned around and pointed at the desk, and we're going to go over all the good stuff for all the people who just want to deal with the model stuff, and then afterwards we'll have a chat and discuss kind of things that are going on and, you know, stuff like that. So give me just a minute and I'll get this switched around. Alright, we're going to start with the chassis. We have our firewall in. There is a little bit of photo etch in here from that hobby design set. There's a little photo etch trim ring that runs around this piece here where the master cylinder sits. There's also a small little plate that sits right there. We have our master cylinder and our clutch slave are installed. We have the steering rack in, and we have our washer fluid reservoir in, which you can kind of tell. So what I did was I primed this in Mr. Surfacer 1500 white. I masked off the top edge, and I sprayed it very lightly, just very light mist coats of some Tamiya Pure Blue LP6. And then I went back over it with some flat white, and that toned it back down so that it kind of looks like washer fluid is inside the reservoir. I have also gone ahead and drilled some holes here and here. This is where the heater hoses would connect. I'm pretty certain I'm going to do heater hoses. If not, I'll just paint back over that with some flat black. But I should be doing heater hoses with it, provided everything works out. We also have the base for the battery in. We're not going to be using the kit's battery because I don't like it. It's just a big black plastic case. And I'm going to be using a 3D printed battery. And then there's kind of this back here to discuss. So basically, I had the fuel tank on and everything looked good. I decided I wanted to add a Top Studios rivet for the drain plug, which went really well. And then I put a wash on it, and then I got tired of waiting on the Tamiya panel liner to dry, so I decided to dry it using a heat gun. And as you can see, that went terribly. That went really bad. There's a little bit of warpage on the rear, not that much. It's mostly like right in this area. I've test fit everything. Everything fits perfectly in the body. So that shouldn't be a big issue. But that kind of left me with the problem of that. So I got into Rhino 3D, and I started working on some modeling, and I kind of made my own, which honestly, it's not perfect, but it's not really bad at all. I think I did a pretty good job. So once that goes into place, that's going to pretty much sit over most, if not all, of the problem area anyhow. So I think that's going to be a pretty decent save, in my opinion. Moving on from the chassis, here's what we really are happy about, is we have our engine. And this has come out really, really well. Again, I used a Top Studios bolt head for the oil pan drain plug. Those just stand out so much better than the little nub painted silver, because there's a little nub back here for the oil drain plug, and you can get away with just painting them silver, but those bolt heads, this is the largest of the three sizes. There's a 0.02 inch, 0.03 inch, and 0.04 inch, and that's the 0.04, and it just stands out and it really looks the part. The oil filler cap. This is not the kit's oil filler cap. I painted the kit's oil filler cap. It was a nice flat black, and I was going to get it put on, and then my tweezers pinged it off into Never Never Land. So what I did was I went back into Rhino 3D, and I modeled my own oil filler cap and 3D printed it, and I think it looks pretty good. I went ahead and did that in a candy blue over Tamiya's LP48 Sparkling Silver. We've got our oil filter, which I painted orange and black. I'm doing a Fram Performance filter. And we've added in a dipstick. Right here. So we've got our oil dipstick going down where it's supposed to go. Then we went ahead and did not go with the kit's dual carburetor setup. I went with triple side intake Webers with the trumpet style air intakes, and I really like how those came out. I then have a fuel line that runs from the fuel pump around the back. It comes into a fuel splitter that I modeled in 3D, again in Rhino. Then the fuel splitter has 3 fuel lines. Each one of these runs to a separate carburetor. So rather than just having a fuel line running across the top and covering the carbs, the fuel rails go down and run into this splitter. So she's coming along. The fan, this is the photo etch fan from the Hobby Design Kit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 10 layers of photo etch here to build up this fan, and 4 of these ridiculously tiny little rivets. They're so tiny you can barely tell which end is the top and which is the bottom. Took me 1 hour and 45 minutes to build this fan. It's insane. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. For comparison, here is the kit fan. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. The kit fan's not bad either, to be honest. So we still don't have the distributor in yet. I have a metal transfer that needs to go up here on top of the valve cover. There's also some photo etch from the Hobby Design, which I may or may not use. They're just tiny little strips that run across the top and bottom of the valve cover. And I need to get these in before I can run the plug wires. So that'll be something that I work on next, is going ahead and getting that done, so that I can then get the distributor on. As far as the distributor goes, I've got 2 options. Technically, I've got 3 options. One, I'm going to try and drill the kit distributor. I think the kit distributor is properly scaled. It's the right size. So if I can drill it and get all 6 plug wires and the ignition coil wire in, that I think is going to be my best choice. But it's very small, so I may or may not be able to do it. I also have, as option number 2, I have bought from Dylan over NYS Scale Modeling. He's printing 3D parts, and he's got a set of distributors. So I've bought some distributors from him before I got my 3D printer set up. And as option number 3, if I can't find those because they aren't where I put them, I've got a 3D printer. I can just grab a distributor from online, print it out, drill it, and put it on. So that's kind of where we're at. Before we can actually get this mounted in, we want to go ahead and get the distributor on and get the wires run so that that's not, because trying to do that while it's in the chassis is going to be a little more difficult. So do a quick test set in here. There it goes. Now once seated, the fuel splitter sits perfectly on the firewall, so I don't even have to glue it. Everything sits exactly where I want it to go. I should have plenty of space to go ahead and run those plug wires, and the heater hoses should run down below. So everything is looking really good for the engine. The engine is coming along. I'm really happy with it. On the fuel line here, I went ahead and did some, they look like rubber clamps. What I did was I just took some of the MIG ammo aluminum sheet. I bought some of that when Lucas C was raving about it. It's very sticky. I'm a little concerned about putting it on paint, but it wrapped around the braided line perfectly. And then I just painted that black to make it kind of look like there's like hose brackets or something in there holding that in place. And I've got another one here on the back side that's going to sit right flush up against the firewall. So that kind of will explain why I've got hoses being held up in midair. They're going to actually look like they're braced. Another thing I did, Tamiya did the floating alternator, which drives me absolutely friggin' nuts. The alternator itself is beautiful. It's very well sculpted. They even put mounting points for a mount on it. So what I did was I just cut a straight flat piece of photo etch sprue, just like the excess photo etch that comes around your photo etch kit. I just cut a straight flat piece of that and glued that between the engine block and the alternator so that it looks like there's some form of a bracket holding that in place. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the update. It's not as much as I would like to have had done. I would like to have had the engine completely done and in the chassis and had the radiator in and all the cooling and all of that done. I'm just not getting the build time. I'm not getting the bench time at all right now. As many of you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, I had to leave on a trip to Ohio. My wife's aunt passed away, and while my wife wasn't really close to her, because they lived way up in Ohio, and she's from Texas, my mother-in-law wanted to go up and be there for the funeral, and she's not really getting around real well, so we went up to make sure that she was okay, because she was driving, so we wanted to make sure that she was going to be okay driving. You know, we would have somebody who could swap in with her if she needed. Basically just make sure she could get around and that there weren't any problems and she was properly taken care of. So we went up there to take care of her, and that was a long trip. That was a full week, pretty much. We got back in on Sunday. So yeah, we got in Sunday night, had a little bit of a chance to rest. Monday, the following Monday was Memorial Day, and so we were off. I signed into work on Tuesday. I worked from home. To find emails going out that they have moved us to a new building, and we were all supposed to be coming in 3 days a week. Apparently the big boss came in to do a big meet and greet with people, and a bunch of people weren't there, myself included. And he got mad because people were supposed to be in 3 days a week. Management got mad because we weren't in, and of course, to save their backsides, they sent out emails. This wasn't an optional, this was mandatory. You all had to be in. I didn't know. But now I'm going into the office 3 days a week. So that's a 56-mile one-way drive for me. So that's an hour and a half to 2 hours drive in traffic, and an hour and a half to 2 hours drive home in traffic, coupled with a 10-hour workday, because the company that I work for believes that straight time is 50 hours a week. So all in all, like, most of my day is spent at work or getting to and from work. So I'm getting very little build time after work. You know, I got to cook dinner, eat dinner, go to bed. So I'm not getting a lot of bench time after work. I'm also not getting the time that I used to get in downtime to edit videos. So videos for me may be slowing down considerably. My next build is planned to be the Nova with the C1 trans kit on it. I want that to be a full build, not just an update set. I want to, because I've never done one before, so I kind of want you guys, I want to take you guys with me on the journey of doing my first resin trans kit. So I want that to be a full video. And I don't know if I'm going to get the time to record and build, much less edit. So again, all I'm saying is videos for me may be slowing down. I'm going to do what I can to get them out as quickly as I can, but a lot of you guys are used to me putting out a video every week. I've put out a video every week for 2 years now, and I can't guarantee that's going to happen. I know a lot of you guys say just take your time, do it when you can, but I want to keep you guys abreast of what's going on so you know what you can expect. So that's going to wrap it up for me. No more of the down talk on, you know, why I'm not getting videos out. I do want to thank everyone who has watched this far, everyone who's watched it all. I appreciate my viewers greatly. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Also, feel free to leave comments, feedback, critique, or anything else in the comment section below. I enjoy interacting with all my viewers in the comment section and try to reply to all the comments I receive. If you want to catch future videos, please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure you click the bell notification icon so you can be notified when I upload new videos. As always, thank you for watching, keep modeling, and have a great day.